All right, well, Charlamagne, I'm so honored to have you here. Thanks for coming on My View.
Lara, thank you for having me. You did Breakfast Club. I had to return the favor.
Yeah, we're trying to reciprocate. I appreciate that very
right.
much. So look, we're 6 months into President Trump's second term in office. Now, I know you've been critical. You've had your bones to pick with President Trump. If you took his name out of it and looked solely at what has happened, the policies and the things that have changed around the world and in our country over the first 6 months, how do you rate his presidency so far?
I wouldn't give it a good rating,
Why not?
Simply because, the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Like when you look at something like, the big, beautiful bill, that's something that, I'm going to benefit from because of the tax bracket that I'm in. But, there's going to be so many people that's hurt by that bill. And, anything that, takes away Medicaid from people and is going to put people in a worse financial situation than, they were previously in, I'm not for. And, he ran on that. Like, he ran on, the economy. He ran on saying that, grocery prices were going to be down. And,
That has happened.
No.
Inflation is trending down. And by the way, Medicaid, we want to make sure that people who are not actual recipients or shouldn't be getting Medicaid are off of Medicaid so it can actually benefit more people. There is good stuff in that bill, though. You have the 2017 tax cuts that are made permanent, and that really is for everybody.
For who, though?
But that's for everyone. Everyone in this country is impacted by that. You also have things, by the way, like money going to school choice for parents all across this country. There is a lot of good that I think will come out of the big, beautiful bill. But what about things like...
Right now, people are hurting. And, he campaigned on immediate change, day one change.
And you don't think you've felt any change? People aren't feeling change.
No.
Do you feel safer knowing that Iran will not have the ability to develop a nuclear weapon?
Iran?
Yeah.
Sure. I feel safe if you're telling me that a country won't have the ability to build a nuclear weapon.
Do you feel better knowing our borders closed?
Yes.
Okay, so there
don't get me wrong. There's certain things that I absolutely, understood. Like, as far as, border security. But I understood border security for different reasons. Like, people were complaining about the border because they felt like people were coming into, the country and, taking jobs away from people in certain areas and certain communities. And that is the conversation that I had been hearing, for the past year and a half prior to the election. I understand that, but I want to see the criminals and illegal immigrants, actually deported.
Well, that's happening.
Not people who are here, trying to go through the process of being in this country legally. Like when you see people actually getting deported and getting detained, and they're actually trying to go through the process of being American citizens, that's not right.
Well, we're allowing those people to leave. They actually get money to leave, and then they get to reapply to come back here the right way. So,
but leave and go where?
They go back to their home country, and then they
what if they've never even been to that country?
Well, they have been to that country. That's where they came here from. But let me ask you this. Hold on.
Some of them haven't, though. A lot of them haven't.
I don't know.
I've seen a lot of cases of people getting deported.
Well, some went to El Salvador who are from Venezuela, but those people have now been sent back to Venezuela. Let me ask you about how the Democrats have responded, though, in the first 6 months of this presidency. How do you rate their response? Because it feels like to a lot of people watching, they don't really have an alternative, and it's a lot of, we hate this because Donald Trump is trying to do it. What do you think of how they've reacted?
When you look at Democrats' approval rating in this country, when you look at Republicans' approval rating in this country, you see that Americans are just fed up with it all. Like, Democrats suck. We know that already, though. You know what I mean? So it's like, I knew that Trump would probably get in office again and fumble, but I also knew that Democrats wouldn't have the team put together properly to recover the ball. So what you're seeing right now from just American people is just a backlash to everything. People want something different.
Well, when I was on your show back in, I think it was October of last year, you told me that you would have been happy to have voted for Kamala Harris as the nominee for the Democrat Party. I want to ask you, do you still feel that way? Do you think she was the best representative and the best person for the Democrats in their chance to have a president this term?
Yes, I would have voted for, I did vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. But absolutely. Because, if you look right now, she's looking pretty good because a lot of the things that she said, President Trump would do, he actually did. And, I did a segment on The Daily Show, after he became president. And I was like, prove people wrong. Everything that everybody is saying about you, everything that they say you're going to do, all you got to do is simply not do. But he did it anyway.
Well, let me ask you.
Not like he was listening to me. I'm just simply saying.
He listens to everyone. He takes input from all around. So Kamala Harris, listen to this. She now says that she is not going to seek becoming governor of California. Here's her statement. She says, "For now, my leadership and public service will not be in elected office. I look forward to getting back out and listening to the American people, helping elect Democrats across the nation who will fight fearlessly and sharing more details in the months ahead about my own plan." Charlamagne, if you look at what Democrat primary voters think about some of the candidates, look at where Kamala Harris falls. She's number 2, right here behind Pete Buttigieg. Do you think she should run for president again?
I mean, she can do whatever she wants. I don't personally know if I would run for president if I was her. And if she does, she has to get a real connection with the people. I think that's something that she's always been missing. If you look at from 2020 to now, whenever you see her, it always seems like it's transactional, right? Like she ran for president, so she was trying to get, people's attention for that. Then she became vice president. Then she became the actual nominee. People have never seen the VP just out having a conversation, doing what she says she wants to do right there, which is just being of service to the people in that way. And I think she just needs to establish a real connection with the people. I think any of those candidates that are attempting to run need to establish a real connection with the people. And I think that you do it by doing things like this. Like, you have to show up to the Fox Newses of the world. You have to show up to the Joe Rogans of the world. Hell, I think that in 2028, really now, until 2028, they should have their own platforms. They should be launching their own podcast.
Should she have done Joe Rogan?
She definitely should have done Joe Rogan. I told her that personally. But more importantly, I think now they should be launching their own podcast. I got to give people like Gavin Newsom props. I got to give people like Nikki Haley props, even though I don't like Gavin Newsom's podcast. But the fact he has established his own platform, and the fact people like Nikki Haley have established their own platform, that is how you're going to connect with people moving forward.
Well, I was going to ask you, what advice would you overall give Democrats? Sounds like for potential presidential nominees, you'd say they need to connect more with people. What overall advice would you give the party?
You got to throw the old regime completely under the bus. Whoever is going to be leading the party moving forward, whoever says that they're going to be the face of the party moving forward, you got to be willing to throw that old regime we just saw under the bus. I read Jake Tapper's The Original Sin, right? So when a lie of that magnitude is told, and not just a lie that, we all read about, a lie that we saw with our own ears and heard with our own eyes.
Yeah.
And then, President Biden dropped out, when it was way too late. Like when you see that happen, you got to be willing to throw that old regime completely under the bus and say, hey, I am presenting something totally new.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.